Well, this is the Australian Workers' Heritage Centre. I was taught many years ago that you can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. And I can guarantee you, if you're ever passing through Barcaldine and you want to know where you came from and the heritage and the Australianism, then you've got to come to this place. This is nothing short of sensational. This room is dedicated to the 1891 shearers' strike. So it displays what the conflicts were. The actual charges which were brought against the men. It tells you about the trial judge, how long the trial lasted for. And of course the important thing in any trial, any court case, is the evidence. And this is the evidence that was submitted. Of course, these are the 13 convicted conspirators. Naturally, in any court case, there will be a verdict, and what the verdict was guilty, and so there is a sentence imposed. What was the sentence imposed? So as I said before, the Great Shearers' Strike of 1891 was the forerunner to the formation of the Australian Labor Party. These photos that you're looking at are an actual representative history of the formation of Australia in its early years. This is the Tree of Knowledge, the original Tree of Knowledge, and this photo was taken in 1937. This was the committee for the strike, the shearers' strike, and this photo was taken in Barcaldine in 1981. This is a tree by the name of Young Un. It is a direct descendant of the Tree of Knowledge. These are tributes to each of the 13. William J. Bennett ended up being a schoolmaster after his release from St. Helena. Hugh Blackwell was the secretary of the Queensland Labourers Union. George Taylor served as a Labor cause in a number of roles, including the Speaker of the Western Australian Legislative Assembly from 1917 and held the seat until its abolition in 1929. William Fothergill, when he was released on the 17th of November in 1893, opened a bakery in Barcaldine. He was elected chair of the Barcaldine Shire Council in 1919. He died in 1921. and he is buried in the Barcaldine cemetery. William Hamilton, upon release, was committed to reform by constitutional means. He went into politics after his release and represented Gregory in Queensland Legislative Assembly from 1899 to 1915. He was elected a member of the Ryan government in 1915. Later he became a Minister for Mines and was appointed to the Legislative Council, becoming President in 1917. Daniel Murphy. He's recorded as working as a labourer in Mountain View near Winton in the 1900s. He later lived at Pannington in Brisbane. Robert Prince. In 1894 became the chairman of the Lyrup Village Settlement Association, which was a settlement set up on the Murray River in South Australia. He came back to Queensland in 1903 as a selector at Jericho, and he's been active in the Australian Labor Party for many years. Paddy Griffin. After his release, he travelled north and became a miner with little success. In failing health, he managed a bookstall at Cairns Railway Station until he was too sick to do so. Julian Stewart. He became a timber worker and suffered several serious accidents, but Stewart was also a poet, as he wrote for the Shearers in 1891. The very best of word and deed must greet first notice of the drum, and heroes for the cause must bleed before the glorious light shall come. Alfred Brown. He spent a few months at Fermanagh Opal Fields, and in later years lived at Longreach. Henry Smith Barry. He was a shearer's cook. Barry returned to Queensland, where he worked as a shearer in the Opalton and Charleville. In 1913 he was granted life membership of the Longreach branch of the Amalgamated Workers Union of Queensland. Edward Murphy. In 1884 was working at a shearer in Roma. He coordinated local strike action urging the use of mobile patrols against blacklegs. In 1896 he moved to the Northern Territory and then to Western Australia. Alexander Forrester, on his release, took his family to New Australia settlement in Paraguay, staying 12 or 14 years. He later spent 15 years in New Zealand dairying.